The only good trend is one that reflects your personal style. So before you invest in it, make sure that it does. Hey there, hi, welcome to the channel. I am Garrett, and in this video, we are talking all about trends and some of the trends I'm looking at that I think will be dated in 5 years' time. Now, if you invested in some of these trends, I love that for you, and I hope it's reflective of your personal style, because one thing will always be true in the interior design world is that your style will always be timeless and never be dated. But these trends, they might be, so let's dive into them. But before we do, make sure you are subscribed to the channel and you have the bell notification turned on to get notified every time I upload, and let's get into the video. Now, the first trend that I think will look dated within 5 years is colored tile. I saw this everywhere, I'm still seeing it be very popular, and we're doing it in ways that are really nice, but this can look dated very quickly because it's very personal. As a general rule of thumb, when I am working on a space, I want that space to be reflective of a person's personal style. However, I also want it to be neutral enough that if that style changes, or if that person decides to sell their home or move, that style can work for other people. And that leads me to say, let's opt for more neutral tiles. Some of these colored tiles were really good, some of them were not really good, and let's talk a little bit about that, because we saw some of these tiles that were like the concrete tiles that had all of the colors and pattern on them. These were looking a little bit dated when they were going in because they are extremely style specific. I saw these on TV shows and the people on social media using them, and it would be like a different type of tile and pattern and color all over the place. It'd be like the backsplash kitchen was one tile and the tile on the fireplace was another, and they were the same type of tile, but they were different patterns and slightly different colors. Just looked crazy and out of place because this is very personal and very taste specific, which can look dated very quickly, or just, even if it's not dated, it's just not somebody else's personal style. So when the time comes for you to move or sell, that's not a selling feature, it's a deterrent, and we always want things to be somewhat neutral. In my opinion, if it's a fix to the house, if it's an investment installation like tile, you want that to be a little bit more neutral so that if your tastes change, it still works. Something else that I'm seeing right now that's very popular with this kind of organic minimalist vibe or style that we're seeing right now is a lot of these handmade looking colored tiles in bathrooms and backsplashes, and we're doing like entire bathrooms in like lilac or green tile, and it looks pretty now, but my question is this gonna look like a 1950s bathroom where everything was pink ceramic tile? Maybe it probably will, because some people don't want to have an all green bathroom. I don't want an all green bathroom. I want my bathroom to feel light and fresh and airy, which is why I stick to white and neutral or organic tones like marble, travertine, granites. I like to see those natural stones, and you can pull colors from them so long as they're kind of neutral. That's one of the easiest ways to make sure your space is always timeless and isn't overly taste specific. The next interior design trend that I think will look dated within 5 years, because it already looks dated now, is the barn door. We loved farmhouse, we still do, and it still works really well for a lot of people, but we overinvested in the barn door. We were putting them everywhere, places they had no business being, places where we had real doors, but we didn't want real doors, so we put barn doors a little bit too much and a little bit too quickly. I actually saw one of the funniest comments from one of you that said, "I hope these people are putting fly strips in with their barn doors to have that authentic barn vibe." And I thought it was hilarious and so on point. We went overboard with the barn door. Now, a barn door can be wonderful if you don't have the room for a door swing. They can look good, they can be functional, but we were putting them on bathrooms and on bedrooms, and there's just not enough privacy with a barn door. Let's leave the barn door where it is and only use them if we absolutely need to, because at the end of the day, we don't live in barns. The next trend that I think will look dated within 5 years is actually something I'm hearing a lot about from colleagues, other professionals in the design industry and the real estate industry, and that is changing the style of homes. Because architecturally, we want our homes to be consistent. We want them to have good flow, and that is super easy to do if the inside matches the outside, if the kitchen flows with the rest of the house. I see it a lot where people do almost piecemeal type of renovations and they will renovate a space on the current trend, and then the next space they renovate will be on the latest trend. So these spaces don't have flow together. You may think, oh gosh, well this looks a little bit dated. Consistency is always timeless and it will always look amazing. So don't take your Mediterranean home and put an ultra modern kitchen in, and then an organic modern bathroom, and then a modern farmhouse living room. It's not going to flow, it doesn't feel good, it doesn't feel right. It feels like we're in different houses every room we go to. If you are consistent in the renovations you do on your home, the home will always be timeless because it flows inside and out. And that's another big feature of this. We want to make sure that the exterior of the home matches what's inside the home. You don't want to have an ultra-modern exterior with a more traditional interior. You don't want to have the opposite, a traditional house with a very, very modern interior. You can actually contrast your furnishings with the architecture of the home. If you have something that's a very traditional space, these always work so well to bring modern furnishings into because it's a contrast. It questions the space, it makes you think about it, but make sure the installed features on the home match the style, like kitchens and bathrooms. That way they don't feel out of place. Oh, Linus! Oh, yes. Oh, yes. Do you want to say hi to everyone? Do you want to say hi to everyone? Do you like the data trends? Do you like them? What's out there? What you looking at? The next interior design trend that I think will be dated within 5 years is actually the launch. And what I mean by this is product launches, collaboration launches, seasonal launches. We are seeing this so much at so many stores, so many online retailers with designers and collaborations. We're seeing it on Instagram. And I think it's fun and there's a really good marketing reason behind it and it makes products sell really well. But that is the reason I think it will become dated, is because we are moving to a place where we want to invest in really good quality, we want to make sure that things are right, and we absolutely love them. These product launches lead us into this space of almost a fear of missing out. So we buy things we know we don't need, that we may not like, but we don't want to miss out on them because we don't want to miss out on being in, on keeping up with the latest trend. This is a major, major issue. It leads to fast home decor, and there's a huge environmental impact when it comes to that. But it also, you just don't need to be buying things that you don't want, you don't need, or you don't have the space for. When it comes to trends, I personally wait for that trend to end, for it to be out, for me to start seeing those things come up on Facebook Marketplace to decide if I actually like the trend or not. If I'm still into it after it's no longer trendy, I know it's time to invest in it. But if I'm really, really feeling it while it's very popular and very in, but then after it's out, I'm over it, I know that I saved myself from investing in something I would have regretted in the future. And that's how I feel about these launches, these collaborations, these things that it's like, you can't miss out on it, what you need to get right now. I don't personally agree with them because I think it leads people to a bad path, and I think it has a huge environmental impact, and it's also just a trend that we don't need to be wasting our money on things that we don't truly want or that won't be timeless in our homes. The next interior design trend that I think will be dated within 5 years is actually boho, and the only reason I'm saying this is because you all have actually been asking me to do a video or include boho in a video where I talk about how to upgrade or change a style because you're already over it. And I think boho is an amazing style. It has some really incredible roots and origins. I think it is someone's out there's personal style, which I think is amazing. But it is going to look dated in 5 years, in my opinion, because it was one of the first big social media trends we really saw. This was very like Pinterest moments, and we would see the pictures everywhere, and boho led us into farmhouse, which led us into modern farmhouse, which leads us into organic modernism. We're seeing this all over the place, and I really like boho. I think it's a good style, but I think it was a very trendy style that a lot of people jumped on board with to be in, as opposed to investing in their personal style. Now, boho is a really amazing style, and it might be yours. I think that's amazing. And if you want to upgrade it, consider mixing in some other styles. My sister really loves boho, and I love that for her. but she upgrades it and elevates it by mixing in some other aspects. She likes tropical design, she likes Western design. They mix together and they create a space that really is reflective of her and her family. It's a really fun space, it's something different and unique, but it really reflects her, even though the base of it is very boho. That's an easy way to upgrade boho, declutter a little bit, minimize some texture a little bit, and include another style in it to really mix it up and make it reflective of you. Boho is a great style, but I do think we will be saying that it's dated within 5 years. The next interior design trend that I think we will considered to be dated within 5 years is this overly feminized interior design style. We saw this with a lot of like all white styles. We see this a lot with like the tufted beds. People are already picking at things and saying that they're dated. And I think we will be considering this entire style dated, because it is a little bit overly specific and it is a little bit devoid of character. And I think it's a fun style. I think it's really pretty and beautiful. Like I said, with every trend, it is someone's personal style and that's what they want and that's what they will keep. And I think that's amazing. But we are moving to a place that's a little bit less polished, a little bit less glam, a little bit more organic, a little bit more natural, and a little bit more cultivated. That's why I think this style will be considered dated, is because it's a little bit too new. It's a little bit too fresh. It's a little bit too perfect. A quick way to elevate this style is to bring in some vintage pieces and bring in some contrast. We saw this style with a lot of very light colors because we like bright and light and fresh, and you will still have that even if you bring in some contrast. Maybe you opt for a darker headboard or rug, maybe some dark curtains or a sultry paint color. These can elevate this style while keeping it feeling very polished and very glam, very feminine, but bringing in some of those masculine elements will just kind of give it a little bit of that edge that it might be missing, that will definitely revitalize and rejuvenate a style like this, because I do think we will find these overly specific styles to be dated within 5 years. Well, there you have it, everyone. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, be sure to let me know in the comment section down below and let me know what is a trend or what are the top trends right now that you think we will be saying are dated within the next 5 years. I want to hear from you. Be sure you give this video a like, and we know that there is someone out there, you know someone that has one of these trends that you're trying to let them know on the sly that is a little bit dated or is going to be out, so they need to upgrade and elevate. Send this video to them because friends help friends, and I will see you in the next one.